Alright, well, I guess we should just get straight into it. So, 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Alright, so going to get right into our first little trick here. Usually water will damage us, seeing as we are playing as an inanimate skull that is getting controlled by clay-based powers. Clay doesn't exactly go well with water, as people might know. But for some reason we can skip across the water by just button mashing as much as we can. So yeah, at the start there we saw our first use of it, and coming up will be one of the more major parts of it. So here's hoping this goes well. Oh, hell yeah. So as you can see, we are left with very little life there, but anything that's not 0 is more than enough. So one thing that I have disabled here is the voices. We have no idea who this Terry bloke is. We just suddenly have met him. Unfortunately, voices can get quite hard to talk over, so enjoy the dialogue at the bottom. Some of it can be quite funny. One thing to note about this level, the rocks around the side. For some reason, Skully tends to have a bit of a difficulty jumping around. Sometimes jumps just get eaten. Not a lot of fun when you're trying to go fast. Though sometimes like you go off it and just gain way too much speed as well, landing you right in the water. Suppose the only other thing of note at the moment is, as we're coming to these pools of mud, we're resetting checkpoint. Healing in this game by going into the mud takes a bit too long. So resetting checkpoint gives us a full bar of health. It's quite a useful feature. And we are already up to the end of level 2. Unfortunately, we are dealing with more water. Our natural nemesis, that's the word. This level can be quite annoying. There is a skip in it that we will not be doing due to you needing more health for it. It's more of a New Game Plus type of skip. Where it's again just similar to the first level where we just button mash as much as we can. Theoretically it is possible to do it at our current health, but I think I've gotten it twice and not consistently whatsoever. You do get introduced to a new enemy here, these tentacle things. You hit them, you will get drained all your HP. I think once you get more HP, you won't lose everything, but at the moment with how little we've got, we will die from one hit. If you want, I can quickly turn up game audio, but yeah, I've got it not at the highest at the moment, so I can turn it back up. It's not that big. All good. Yeah, at the moment it's pretty good.
Alright, we have $50 from Falsely that says, "Time for Skull!" And we also have $15 from Romulator that says, "You know what's fun? Speedrunning with one of your best friends. Good luck with the run, Duke. Been wonderful finding skips for you. Put this towards naming Squall you for the FF8 run. Thank you, both."
A couple of my good mates right there. Romulator has found pretty much half the skips in this game and is responsible for the current 15-minute difference between my estimate and my current time. one of the skips had what we just found, I think last week, is this currently. It's a new out of bounds. Usually this level is in a complete auto scroller, but we're able to just go out of bounds where they just forgot to put an invisible wall. Makes things quite a lot easier. There used to be a shorter version of it, which we just end up back in the level, just a little bit further on, and didn't hit the trigger to start the auto scroller. But that wasn't that fast. So luckily we did find an alternative. So this level we're supposed to, I think it was what? So we're supposed to be finding a transformation in this level and a transformation back in level 2, I think it was. We will not be getting either of those. We're supposed to go detour, find them and use them in the level, but they're a bit too slow to go grab. Oh, what? I was supposed to hit the checkpoint there. That was odd. Oh well, luckily this level's pretty sparse. We'll just see it a third time. It's fine. Yep, go for it.
Perfect. All right, we have $10 from Alaska that says, I know you paid for the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge of it because this is Skully by Duk700.
So before I said we weren't going to get the transformations, but due to not getting them, we can't actually complete the game. So I think it must be just like a normal failsafe, just so you can start a level with whatever you have at the given, what you should have at the given time. We just exit the game and restart at the level to get all our necessary transformations back. So makes this quite useful. Makes this entire game as is. Makes all this thing actually possible. That's what I was trying to say. So one thing I haven't actually pointed out, these were water guys. We won't be seeing them for much longer, but they can both shoot, I guess spit at you with water and explode to deal damage. If you run into them at all, you don't tend to live all that long. It's, for some reason it combos you and keeps dealing damage until you end up back in checkpoint. So this is the first boss, Wanda. All we have to do is go to the end of the stage, transform, and hit these 3 rocks. There is a hypothetical skip where we can get into the last area in the middle. Hit that rock and then come over here and hit the first rock. If you end up, because it causes the tidal wave to happen early, so if you end up dying in transformation while all that's happening, you tend to soft lock the game, so it is not the safest thing to do. We're still actually not too sure if it will save time or not. We haven't been able to do a full test of it yet. Yeah, this is second hit, we've got one more to do. One other thing we could do, but again, you need more help for it, is get out of the transformation and just jump across the water with Skully. It does save a bit of time, but you've just got not enough health to do it. If we have one more upgrade, we could probably do it, but it's not worth going out of the way to collect enough of the collectibles to do so. So yeah, that's the first boss down. Pretty simple, but I suppose one thing I haven't gone over is the what we're actually supposed to be doing here. We're supposed to be helping the unknown person Terry help capture or like reason with his siblings for not trying to take control of this all-powerful relic. But they want to do their own thing with it, so we've got to capture them so they don't do it. So, yep. Hopefully this works. Alright, so that skip just there, literally got found maybe 12 hours ago. So I jokingly asked, oh well, hence 12 hours ago it got found. I still haven't actually had a chance to practice it. We were joking, saying, oh, if you find anything else, let me know. I'll try to incorporate it into the run. And yeah, my mate decided he would find a thing that's 3 or 4 seconds faster, I think he said. If done ideally. Which, well, let's just do it normally, shall we? You get the idea, you jump over there and skip a whole bunch of... Ah, dang. Okay. Skip a whole bunch of this puzzle area. But since even the normal way that we do it isn't working, we'll go with casual way. Usually we'd have to do some like damage boost type thing. While you're underwater and you're pressing A, you kind of build up like momentum or something, and get launched out of the water, being able to land on this platform, but it's very finicky and doesn't always like to work. So, it's unfortunate, but what can you do? I have full health, I don't need to reset. Suppose the one good thing that comes out up from not doing the skip. Go for it.
Alrighty, we have $20 from Chili Pepper, who reads, "We believe in the all-terrain brain container. Go fast and good luck with the run."
Thank you. So, introduced to one of our more recent tricks is surfing. So, you're supposed to only be able to move those while you're not on the platform, but by starting to move them before you land on the like mid-jump, you can land on the platform and continue moving it. This will be heavily abused in the next rest of the game. It lets us skip a whole bunch of terrain that we can't usually go through and helps with a few out of bounds. So this is our only transformation we'll be getting properly, the jumper. As you might be able to tell, it allows us to double jump. It is also one of the main reasons we can do any of the out of bounds. It is incredibly broken. So we'll be seeing that in the next level. Though speaking of broken, there's supposed to be a force field there that pushes you away and not lets you go out of bounds. it just doesn't work sometimes. I'm not sure if you get there fast enough or it just always just doesn't work properly. You just can go under it or it just doesn't function sometimes. So, the next, I guess, enemy is this wind. It will push us off the edge if we get too close to it. Though where it actually does affect you can be a bit hit or miss. Sometimes you're like right in the path and it will not hit you whatsoever. Other times, like here, it will send you flying across the map. And we use that for a skip. Ideally, you will be able to use it for something else, but it is a bit tricky. I need to look at what time. Okay, somebody can tell me if there's been past like 25 to 30 seconds, because I don't have a visual cue for this. So a lot of levels tend to have like a barrier of how high you can go with this trick. This level doesn't. So we can use it to go out of bounds. Thank you very much. So we should be able to go across here. And we are out of bounds. It's really easy, like, I'm not too sure how they missed this one, but I guess they didn't expect you to surf. So there usually is this whole path over there, like, we get to admire the level, if nothing else, so that's always nice. Yep, that's the level. And now Clay's other massive weakness is lava. I assume like it gets, was it baked? I guess. Becomes too hard and then just breaks. But yeah, I'm not too sure why it decides that lava will be the detriment here. So this level used to be a 5-minute level. Then surfing became a thing, and it is now a 1.5-minute level. There used to be a whole auto-scroller, and we would have to hit certain enemies to blow up walls, and yeah. Yeah, about that. So this was like one of our main levels that we wanted to find a skip for. 5.5 minutes going through an auto-scroller, not always the most fun thing in the world. But yeah. And there's the end of the level right over there. Yeah, you should be good.
Alrighty, we have $20 from NNP that is putting their money towards the Link to the Past any % incentive. We also have $5 from Pitchy that says, men will literally use forbidden clay magic to reanimate a human skull instead of going to therapy. Who was also putting their money towards Link to the Past any %. We are about $220 into that $1,500 donation incentive, so if you would like to see that bonus game any % of Link to the Past, be sure to put a little message in your donation. Thank you.
So here's these fire enemies we're supposed to find back in the last level and use to blow up certain walls. Ideally, it would blow up a transformation there, but oh, awesome! Right as we were about to go out of its blast radius. So with that, means we don't have to reset once extra. Little bit of time save, not a massive thing. But we can now throw Skully. There is an achievement in this game, I think it's like insert football reference, where we throw Skully, I think it's 30 or 50 meters or something. I've still yet to figure out how to do that. I'm not entirely sure where they mean you to do that, but well. That was a bit too close for comfort. Wait, what am I doing? I need a throwing guy. That's the whole point of this level. So originally this level was supposed to have a skip where you'd go across the, well, where am I? Throw basically over to this area, but it became very inconsistent for some reason. Still not entirely why I just suddenly decided not to work. But we now do a quite a bit safer of a strat. But the only other thing of note, this level is super close to being broken. The starter level and the ender level are pretty much right next to each other. And because of that, if we could find a way to get out of bounds at near the beginning, we could skip pretty much the entire level. But there's a limit on there's invisible wall and invisible roof that's preventing us, which is a tad annoying. So this is a skip that we found days before I came here, where we skip that's not only faster, but we skip a cutscene. Though we can usually skip a cutscene, it's just a little bit of a cool extra detail about it. I initially wanted to use the out of bounds that's in this level, but it's not useful of an out of bounds whatsoever. This level is all vertical, and the out of bounds only gets us to a horizontal plane, so unless we can find a way to warp up to the top from there, it's unfortunately not going to be useful. If you've got anything to add, I'll be doing this for the next 2 to 3 minutes, so go ahead.
No worries. Don't have any donations at the moment, but I would just like to remind everyone that Elgato is our major sponsor for this event, and it's fantastic to have them on board with us to support the Game On Cancer initiative. Elgato are a world-leading provider of audiovisual technology for content creators that make premium webcams, microphones, Steam Deck controllers, capture cards, and so much more, including the Wave DX microphone that I'm using right here at this event, and the green screen and key lights being used throughout ASM. We also have some prizes that you can win for donating during this event for people within Australia. These prizes include Elgato Streamer Packs, which consist of Elgato Stream Decks Mark IIs and a Wave 3 microphone. We are also giving away plenty of games, including 3 physical copies of Sonic Origins Plus, provided by 5 Star Games, 5 digital copies of Heavenly Bodies by 2 Point Interactive, and 3 digital copies of Speaking Simulator by Affable Games. To enter into the pool for all of these wonderful prizes, a minimum donation of $100 is required, but even as little as $5 could see you winning one of these games. For more information and the full terms and conditions, make sure to visit prizes.ausspeedruns.com. And we'd like to give a warm thanks to Elgato, 5 Star Games, 2 Point Interactive, and Affable Games for providing these wonderful prizes.
So you might wonder why the music near the end there was so dramatic. This is that was technically supposed to be an auto-scroller, where the lava would rise and it would be all epic. But due to us missing a trigger, oh whoops, I did not go high enough for that. Due to us missing a trigger, we just don't experience that anymore. Luckily we do still get to hear the great music for it. Okay. So here's another out of bounds that we found. Sorry if it's a little bit dark here. There's barely any lights in this level as it is, so I did have to crank up the brightness quite a bit to even get to this part. So bear with me for a little. If done optimally, this is only a little bit faster, but it is really cool. So, you know. Alright, there's a level. We have got boss fight coming up. Our second of technically 3, but one of them is the order stroller that we missed. So this boss fight can be a little bit janky. If we end up falling in the lava at any point, Brent here will just continue his attack as if nothing happened, and you could get sniped right back into the lava on respawn. There's also supposed to be like fire pillars that come up once you hit certain platforms, but we can just skip those platforms. The throwing arm on this guy is just that good. And usually we'd have to go over to this direction, but once again we can shut Skully past where any of the trees would happen and defeat the box quite easily. That went a lot better than any point in practice, so I'll take it. So throughout the next 3 or 4 levels, we'll be going through skips that have cut down the most time out of anything. This was supposed to be an invisible wall that launches us in the opposite direction, but for some reason it just gives up and launches us forward. And we can go out of bounds again by going into this corner, hopping out of our transformation, and jumping up here, and just going straight to the end. Usually there's a whole maze and a couple puzzles we'd do, but those are too difficult for us, so we're just going to go straight to the end. This would also be around the time where we would need a certain amount of health in the original route. Because of a couple of skips, we would be using the water bouncers to try and get through some of the puzzles. We're not actually doing them. But due to the out of bounds, we've had to cut down on how much health we actually required. We could get, I mean. Which was lucky. We then found out of bounds to skip all those requirements. So here's another instance of surfing. Get to be a little bit of a taxi as well for our transformation. Have to be a little bit careful because if the transformation hit the wall at any point there, it could just get launched off and get sent into the water. Not a fun time for anyone. One last bit of surfing. So I'm going to be trying a quick skip here if we get it. Okay, we did not get it. Sometimes there's the barrier there just decides to let us through. This time it did not. So we'll be going for the backup. Very good that we found this backup recently. without it, we'd be probably spending a good couple of minutes trying to just force our way through this area. So instead, we'll be throwing ourselves out of bounds. Or we will not. Okay, this is new. Huh. Okay, that's... I guess this is a good time to say it. That has not happened before. Yeah. I thought that angle would work, but apparently not. And there we go, that's the out of bounds. Yeah, by just throwing ourselves through the rock, it launches us up to the top here, where there is no invisible walls, and we can just climb the mountain. I'm not too sure how Skull would be able to do this, but you know, magical clay and all, tends to work wonders. Yeah, we used to have to go through the level normally. It'd be, again, a whole bunch of puzzles and would take quite a while, but this is the end of the level. I think that defines a lot of this game. What it's become is just go out of bounds and suddenly the level has ended. So this is the penultimate level. Used to be 5 minutes. It's quite difficult. We found, again, an out of bounds. But it was actually really cool. It got us only a little bit further into the level. And got rid of a lot of the not so fun times. But then we found a better out of bounds. And that's what I'll be showing off here. Luckily, still a little bit of time before we get to that part. So usually we would be like throwing ourselves over here. There is a spawn of the rock guy. You know what, let's stick with the throwing ourselves over there. That's going to be it. Usually we'd be able to bounce off the rock guy and end up with the jumping transformation over the lava area. And then instead of doing this segment, just use the jumping dude to get over these rocks. Not a lot of time difference, but it definitely helps. Unfortunately, we do need the big guy to get anywhere further in this level. So if we punch this rock guy, he will follow us and explode as soon as he gets close enough. And his explosions break these rocks. The weird thing about these rocks, they randomly generate how they, where is he? Wait, what the hell? Oh, there's the, wow, okay. I guess he got stuck on a rock? That's bizarre. Add number 2 to that's never happened. But anyway, these rocks here, they randomly generate, and was a massive hassle with one of our initial finds with how we were going to skip a whole bunch of level 9, the other 5-minute level, until we found the out of bounds that was in that. If you've got anything else, this is probably the last time you'll be able to say anything.
No worries. I do have an update on the Link to the Past bonus game, 80% incentive. The full donation meant to be reached is 750 instead of the 1500 previously mentioned. So we are now sitting at 220 out of 750 for that. A lot more achievable. And if you would like to see that, be sure to donate towards that incentive before the end of the Link to the Past Old Dungeon speedrun. Thank you.
Alright, so we're about to hit the final level here. One final boss fight against Terry. So Terry has since captured all his siblings and used their powers of earth, fire, water, and air to try and get the life heart, the all-powerful, I'd like to say artifact, but it's like a giant rock thing. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, he wants it to stop all the things going wrong with this island. His motivations are kind of odd. And that's where all his siblings are trapped, so we're going to try and free them. We'll be going through all the elements that have come up throughout the game. So first, fire. Not too much a hassle, we don't even need to jump any of these gaps. They're set up in a way where we just get launched off the edge pretty safely. Next we've got air coming up. You'd think it would be a little bit more of a threat, but I think I've only been launched off once, and we just go under everything else, so it's not too big of a deal. So the only one that's actually remotely a threat is this water. If you come off one of the edges a bit wrong, you can end up falling into the water, but ultimately it's not too big of a deal. And last one you would think would be Earth, Terry's domain. But no, it's just more lava. Turns out lava is the most dangerous thing, according to him. And he'll just drain our life after giving us a full heal. Not too sure about why he heals us there, but you know. Nice guy, Terry. You know. Alright, that's the final hit on the boss. Still just going to get some heart and then it'll be time. And that's time. You know what? 37-33, that's not that bad given everything that went wrong. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you want to know anything about this game, feel free to send me a message over you know, Twitter or speedrun.com, and I'll try to get to it to you as soon as I can. So yeah, hope you enjoy the rest of the event.
Alrighty, thank you, Duke, for that Skully run. Next up, we have Legend of Zelda Link to... Sorry, what's this? I'm getting a emergency broadcast that we have a current news report from... Okay. Soon, we will be receiving a not-so-emergency broadcast. In the meantime, we do have $20 from Nikasa that is putting money towards Link to the Past. Any percent, please. Stay tuned. Alrighty, up next we have... Hang on, I'm getting an emergency news broadcast from Worcester. This time it's actually an emergency. We'll be passing it right up to him.